I think I'm live. I don't know. This is all a lot to manage. And it looks like, I don't know. I think everything's working. It would be good if anyone who is on can confirm that this is working. Looks like there's a bit of a lag, but that's manageable. All right. Well, thank you for joining me, everyone who's here. Yeah, I'm very, very happy that we've reached 10k subscribers. Actually 11k now. The 10 to 11 just went so fast. It was pretty nuts. Thank you, James. It's very, very nice to know. It's always, every time I have to deal with these sort of systems where like you're dealing with like an admin and then there's people who are receivers for it, it's always so hard to know if everything's working properly. Very good to know that it is. Yeah, so my intention with this stream is very open-ended. I have no real expectations of what will come out of this. This is my first stream ever, in case that wasn't clear. I have a couple things. I was talking with people about what I could do in the stream, and some people suggested doing like visual things while we are talking, so that way I can, we can have something else to sort of going on in the background. And I've got a couple things actually that I've been meaning to CAD. There's a lot of different aspects of this project always going on at once, which I quite like because it means that if I get really fed up or frustrated with one part of the project, I can just put it down for a while and go to a different part. And so I've actually got a couple things that I need to CAD now and before the project can really like reach the next step in those directions. So one of those things is that I would like to fix the, so let me see if my screens are working. I can do this, ha ha ha. So this is the current model of Jugglebot, and you'll notice that this is quite different to if I show you the real Jugglebot right now, if I can. Down here, it's definitely a lot smaller. This is its old base that my brother CNC'd for me, and you can tell pretty immediately that Jugglebot has outgrown this base. It's definitely needs to be a lot bigger, and that's what that big piece of wood behind it is this new base. This bad boy. Put my camera back. So many things to manage when doing this stuff. My God, it really gives me a whole new respect for people who do this full time. So this is my new base. And to use this new base, I have to CAD some bits to attach the legs onto their mounting holes. And so that's what I'm thinking of doing now, if you would prefer. There's another thing that I would also be open to doing now, which is to make, I'm making a thing that I'm calling the laser gate. And so the idea is that in the hand here, when it throws the ball will come out and there will be lasers in here. So this is the old laser gate design. There's a laser here and there's a photo diode on the other side. And this basically like there's a beam going across, and whenever the ball goes through, the beam is broken, and from the amount of time that the beam is broken for and knowing the ball's diameter, we can figure out how fast the ball is moving. And I need to redesign this. This is another thing that we might do in this stream if we have time. But I think the more important one is to get the base connection working, because if this base connection is good, I can start printing those parts and then move over to the new base, which is very exciting. That new base just arrived yesterday and I am so happy with it. It looks so good. It's so clean. It's beautiful. Yeah, so my plan with this part, right now you can see these guys are, like they seem to work, and these are actually the same parts that are printed on the current design, but I want to fix them because right now this design is not as modular as I would like it to be. It's kind of tricky to explain, but I'll explain exactly why this is the case in just a second. But right now, if I needed to replace one of these legs, like if one of the strings broke or something and I wanted to really quickly swap it out for a new one, I would have to undo 8 screws to do that. And that's kind of annoying. I would like it to be as few screws as possible. And I think I have an idea for how to get this down to just 1 screw. So be very quick, undo the bolt, pop it out. It could really be done with 0 screws, but designing compliant mechanisms that like snap and have no wiggle can be a little bit tricky, and I haven't really done that before, so I figure 1 screw is few enough, and so I'm pretty happy with that. And so the reason why this will take 8 screws is because if you look at how this works right now, there's nothing stopping these legs from, I don't know if SolidWorks would be happy with me moving them this way. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. There's nothing stopping the legs from like rotating about their axis like this way. And that's a problem because these motors have quite a lot of inertia. And I actually noticed when I was testing these, if you pull the actuator out to either extend it or if you compress it to compress it, the inertia of the motor will like jolt the leg around. It will like kick it and try to spin it around. And that's a problem because there's cables that come out of here. So there's a cable that comes out from the motor and out from the encoder down the bottom. And those cables have to go out, and I don't really want to get those tangled up when the thing's like twisting around. So what I've done, I think this is a brilliant solution. I'm super happy with this. And I haven't CAD'ed, I don't even know if it's possible to really CAD this nicely into SolidWorks, but I've made these like Bellows actuators. I've got one here. And so these can compress and can bend in all sorts of directions, but importantly, they can't twist. Well, they can a little bit and they buckle, but they can't really twist very much, especially if they're properly supported on either end. The amount of twist that they allow is very, very, very small. So what this means is that these allow full range of motion in all of the degrees of freedom that I care about, and it pretty much completely cuts off the degree of freedom that I don't want these actuators to have. I'm super happy with these things. I'm planning on showing these off in a bit more detail in a future video, but there's a bit of a spoiler for you all watching in. And continuing on as to why this is a problem, these, I mean, you can see these parts don't really fit properly right now, but if I go to one of the legs, this is what's currently printed. These Bellows things sit outside of the printed part, and they attach with these screws that are actually not lined up. Well, oh well, whatever. That hole is supposed to line up with that hole. I don't know why it isn't, but it doesn't really matter. So to get access to the holes that attach this part onto the base, you have to take off the Bellows thing and then undo all of these screws. And that's kind of annoying. And I want to cut that out so it's a lot easier to use. So my thinking, oh shit. Something's going to break here. Oh. No, it didn't. Okay, cool. So my thinking is to make a part that will, so the one part will screw into the base and that will be fixed. And then that will have like a little hole that the leg part will slot into, and then a bolt will go in to hold the leg into the base. That's my plan. And I think that should work quite nicely. So I think the first thing to do is to make the base part. Also, before I forget, I have the option of adding music. Thanks to my Patreon supporters, I figured it would be worth paying for a subscription to actually get licensed music so I don't have to deal with copyright issues anymore. And so I can play that now, and that should be playing for you guys as well. Pretty good. If you want music, or if you don't want music, let me know. Or if you have a particular genre preference. Right now, I kind of just picked a random one. Actually, I might change this. Let's go with jazz. Jazz is good. There we go. Yep, all right. So I think the first thing that I want to work on is this base part. So there'll be a little block that fits on the base, and that will have a hole in it that the leg will go into, that like this equivalent part will slot into. It's always tricky when I make these parts to know where to actually, what folder to put them in, because I've got a folder for the base and I've got a folder for the legs. Oops. But this part is kind of for both. I think it's 50 by 50. I want holes that are I'd be interested to know actually if other people, what tolerances people apply for their things. So I've got these bolts are 5.8 mil diameter, so I'm gonna make that like 6.5 so that the whole bolts can just go straight on through. And also, if anyone watching sees me doing anything on SolidWorks that they think can be done better, let me know, because I am always on the lookout for ways to improve my SolidWorks efficiency. Or if you are curious about something that I'm doing because you don't know what I just did, then let me know as well, and I can happily explain it. There are tons of things. This program can do so much, and there's a lot of things that you just don't really find out about unless someone either shows you or you watch someone else do it, like coincidentally. This program is extremely powerful. How much of a border do we want? 15. So this part looks good. Let's go like 5. Actually, no, this has got to be thick. 5 should do. So this guy will be on the leg. Leg V4. Coming up with names, I swear, is like half the challenge of making SolidWorks parts. It's so hard to make something that will make sense and be useful, but isn't like 500 words long. Also, yeah, you might be curious about all these holes that are in the base here. So let's just open this up. There are 2 sets of, what do you make? That's a good question. So right now, these legs are attaching to the base via these like big blocks. These are attached with these 4 holes in here. I want to make it so that I explained it at the very beginning, but I don't really want to go into all the detail again. But basically, this black part obviously is not the correct one for this base part here because it doesn't fit. But in the real one, this black part goes outside here, and so to unscrew this red thing, we have to take off this black part first with these 4 bolts that go around the outside, and then also take out these 4 on the inside. So it's 8 bolts to undo, and it's very slow and annoying. So what I want to make is something that basically makes it a lot quicker. And my thinking is to have like a slot. So like fixed to the base will be a little block and we'll have a hole in it. And then the leg part at the bottom will have like a peg that goes into the hole. And then there'll be a single bolt that will go through and hopefully fix them together. Juggle to the moon, I agree, hopefully. Yeah, and so just before we get back to fixing up this plate thing, I think it might be worth explaining why there are so many holes here. These 3 in the very middle are for this like string tensioner thing, so those kind of have to be there for that. These ones around the outside, I have like 2 sets of mounting holes for each leg, and that's partly because I don't really know what geometry is the best to use. I've spent a lot of time simulating different geometries and seeing what the different geometries can do. And if you're interested, I can show that, but I don't really want to have that going while I have SolidWorks going. I think my computer might not be super happy about that. So maybe we can go into that a bit later if you guys are interested. But basically to like cover my ass, I've made 2 mounting options for all of the legs. So this one that it's in right now will have a greater range of motion, but will be less like stable, less structurally sound than having all of them kind of on like the next one over. So like having this part like over here. But I've got the option there if I need it, which would be nice. So what one is this? Let's get rid of this guy. Definitely sub-assemblies are your friends. Look at how nice, look at this, boom. this entire thing in like 5 little things. It's so good. It's so neat. I love it. So this guy will go on here. I also as well, I don't know if this is like a thing that other people do, but I like to like put things in my big assemblies as early as possible. I find that's a useful way to just like make sure that it's like actually correct before getting too deep. Actually, this is something that I'm very curious. If anyone knows why this happens in SolidWorks, I would love to know. Normally, you can just like select 2 surfaces, like this one and this one, and this little thing will come up saying like what your mating options are. But sometimes it doesn't come up. Sometimes you have to just click up here on mate and then do it that way, and it's so much slower. And if anyone knows why, like what changes that, I would love to know. That triggers me so much when that happens. So it looks good. I remembered my dimensions correctly. So now I can fix this up. So we want a hole in this. I guess a simple option. Also, if anyone's curious, I'm using a space mouse to do all of these controls, and this has like a bunch of buttons around the outside that you can map to whatever you want. Non-negotiable in my mind. If you're doing any sort of CAD work, you need to get one of these. These are so good. If I am needing to do CAD stuff and I can't use my space mouse for whatever reason, I just wait until I can. I just don't do the CAD work until I can use my space mouse again. It is honestly painful to go back to like the middle mouse click and drag and stuff. It's just not good. So I reckon this can go up. We want it to be pretty solid in there, so maybe like 25. Also, I'm scrolling in that wheel there to get that to change through. I learned that relatively recently, and I'm a big fan. Let's shell this. Shell is not a feature I use often. Yeah. I think that looks good for now. Alright, so that goes there. One thing we need to fix before going any further is to update its color, because this is all wrong. It's much better. Alright, so now I want to update this guy to be compatible. And I'm just going to save the new version. It's tricky as well, like, so you can get different configurations of things, but this... I can't read your full message. I feel like you don't have a hand. I know, yeah. It is... You need... Oh, where'd that go? Need a space mouse. Absolutely necessary. Alright. Yeah, it's tricky to know when to like make a new configuration for a thing or make a completely new version of it. 'Cause I've got like... I mean, this is only V2. Some of my things have got like V6. And... I don't know. It gets a bit messy. But that's a problem for later. I also like to give a bit of a description. Quick release leg, let's call it that. Two keyboards? What do you use 2 keyboards for? I've never heard of that. Did the wrong one. Yeah, so in SolidWorks you can save as so that it updates in the other assemblies, or you can save as so that it doesn't update, and I did the wrong one. Okay, that's good now. Alright, so this quick release one, let's go back to get rid of all of the chamfers and stuff. Maybe keep that. Yeah, macros are so good. I've got a little macro pad here that I made a couple years ago now. I love it. It's so handy. Although to be honest, I only really use it. I'm using it now to like change between my different screens, but I only really use it on like a day-to-day basis. One of the buttons is to like put my computer to sleep. So that's really the only use that it normally gets, which is a bit annoying because I spent a lot of time working on that, but at least I have it here for if I do need to use it in the future. Okay. Actually, maybe it's worth just getting rid of most of this, to be honest. I don't really need all this. Even back to here, it's different. It's not often I need to completely remake a part. And I want to avoid it if possible. So let's not. Get out of here, chamfer one. So I want to keep this circle bit. That's good. That can go away. That is good. What have I done? So I feel like this is similar to coding when you go back after like a couple of months and you see your coding project and you're like, what the fuck? I think this is what I want. Why is it still smaller? One thing I don't really want to do is have to reprint the TPU, these things, the Bellows, because they take a little while to print and it's a bit of a waste if I don't need to. I just want to try to keep them the same. So let's actually see how big those are. 69.4. Very obvious, clear number. Okay, that's correct. Get rid of this. So I want this to be a little bit less than 69.4. It's probably like 68.8. Okay, what are you unhappy about? This triggers me as well, like when things don't pick the origin, but they pick the thing that's on the origin. It's like, why would you want that? I want it to be on the origin. All right, so that's good. So this hole here is for the magnet. That's interesting, Roydroid. Thank you for letting me know about that. That's actually, I hadn't thought about that. The audio lag between my speaking and my, like the audio going out to you guys. I need to think about how to fix this, because normally I've been fixing this, bit of a hacky solution, but I've been fixing this in the video editing software afterwards and just like moving the audio and the video files like slightly off. But I didn't realize that this would have the same effect on streams. So that's something I need to look into. Thank you for letting me know. Let me write that down actually. Cool. Thank you, Microbyte. That's very nice to know that it's interesting. Yeah, I like seeing where this is going and like having people actually interested in this. It's fun. There's not a lot of people I can talk to about this in my like normal life, and like I obviously do talk with people about this in my normal life, but not on like an engineering level. It's more like high level stuff. It's nice that this is like building out. And if you are interested in this actually, and if you're not already, it's a good idea to check out the Zulip page because there's a lot happening in there. It's actually kind of surprising. There's a lot of interest in there and people have been very helpful with solving a lot of my problems. It's been really good. Yeah, so this hole here is for the magnet thing, which is at the bottom of the leg. This is just for the bolt that holds the magnet on. So that looks good. This is my sketchy rib, my revolved rib. Couldn't really think of a better way to do this, but it works. Yeah, I would have thought there would be a setting in OBS, but I couldn't find it. But, I mean, if it helps, I can always just like hide my camera and then you won't even be able to see my voice, or just like cover my mouth. Yeah, I'll try to get that fixed soon. So that looks good. I don't need, oops, shit. Don't need that anymore. Do want this. What was that tangent to? Can you guys hear the music, by the way? Is that like working and is it a good volume? What is going on there? I see. Don't need that line. Nice. It's good to hear. Also, if you're noticing that my clicking is like a little bit off, I'm using this like MX Ergo mouse, and if anyone, this has been great for like 3 years, but just recently, like the little ball has gotten like sticky, and it's really hard to make really fine, precise movements. So if anyone knows how to fix that, I've seen apparently like rubbing it on your forehead to like get the oils on works, but I tried that and it's still sticking a little bit. It's really annoying me. Wow, electric unicycles is something that I had never heard of before. That's very interesting. I would love to check out a cursed SolidWorks file you made, Antichamber. I don't really know how you can share it with me. Other than Zulip, if you share it to me on Zulip, I can download it. Will it break my computer? I don't really want to have it crash. I would love to know more about your electric unicycles as well. Super observation, that's... Where would you use the linear act? Like to pedal the pedals? I like that, that's cool. I just realized there's a problem with this. Actually, no, there's not, never mind. I was thinking, because if I put a peg out of here to fit into the other bit, it's gonna fuck up this hole. But that won't be a problem if I just make the hole go the whole way through. So I don't know if swearing is like allowed on this. I guess it's up to me, isn't it? I'm gonna say swearing's allowed. How big did I make the other one? I don't remember. Why 34? Oh. No, I don't like the shell. I prefer to do it the hard way. 3 should be plenty strong. What's your robotics team? Heli Scon. Interesting name. Yeah, Crank, I've taken the ball out. That's that's something you definitely need to do very often with these mice. Is like clean that ball out. And I've given it a good scrub. I've like wiped it off. Yeah, I'm worried about the. I'm worried about isopropyl because apparently if you use isopropyl, it like, I don't know, breaks stuff down more. But yeah, I'm worried that the little like rollers that the ball rolls on are kind of done. I don't know, we'll see. I completely forgot what number I just had. Let's say 30. Okay. 33.7. I want a nice snug fit. And then no, I didn't. There's no link here. Anti-chamber. Did you send it via Zulip or this? Because I've closed Zulip. If you send it to me on here, I should be able to get it. And I probably want to keep this whole. And that is 20 something. Cool. Something as well that I'm interested to know what other people do about this with 3D printing things. I like to keep in the back of my mind that like this is an object that I will be 3D printing and like keep that present. Because like right now, and I hate using supports. No, I'm making 6 copies of everything and I don't want to have to deal with 6 copies of supports for everything. So I try to avoid them as much as possible. So I was planning on printing it this way, but I kind of forgot that these surfaces are here. To be honest, maybe I can just revolve this the whole way around and be done with it. Yep, easy. Come on, delete. What? Oh fuck, I did the wrong one. Nice, that's very cool. I would be very interested to know if you do use these linear actuators at all. I'm very curious to see when people use my stuff. The inside overhang. Which inside overhang? Ah, shit, yeah, 4, that one too. Maybe I'll have to change the way that this peg works. Have we go the whole way? I find that never really fits as nicely though. If I made this a chamfered edge and printed it this way, I don't know if it's gonna fit as snugly. Let's see what it looks like. I don't like that chamfers don't have the same like flexibility as fillets. Like it doesn't give you all of the edges automatically. You have to like click on them all yourself like a pleb. How far can I go? That's pretty good. 17.5. I guess that should work. Yeah, I was on, it wasn't, I can't remember what it was called. It was along those lines like FRC, but for Lego. It's like the Lego Mindstorms thing. I did that, I don't know, years ago. It was fun. There was one team there though that was like Australia champion, and like they were like our local, like one of the nearby teams to us. And my god, like I feel like seeing how good they were honestly made me less keen on it, because I knew there was like 0 chance that we would get out of like our first local area, because they were like the best in Australia. But they were freaking amazing. Their robot was just like a cube that like perfectly fit in the size restrictions and had like modules that would like come out and do different things. Maybe, yeah, it might have been FLL. And there were like 3 components. You had to do like a robot and like a, I don't know, some like social engineering task or something. Can't remember. I'm so confused by this unicycle. So the electric part is it something that actually like actuates the pedals to get them to move around? Because I would have thought, like when I first read that, I thought like an e-bike sort of thing where you have the motor in the hub of the wheel and then that propels you. It feels like it would be a lot simpler than having linear actuators push the pedals. They did. Hello, Daniel. I always forget you were in that team. Do I climb? I do climb. Last Friday at what is it called? The one in Blackburn. I think that's the last one I went to. That's funny. What was the website? I'll send you a link to the Zulip. Oh, I don't know if I can. But the link should be pdj.zulipchat.com. I think that should be it. Alright, back to this. Now all these dimensions are going to be fucky. I reckon the way to do this... I didn't know cavities were a thing for the longest time, but when I found out about the cavity feature, I was blown away. Let's make this nice and big. I can fix that whole problem later. Just wondering what context to do this in. So my thinking is if I put this part in an assembly with this part, I can make a cavity thing that will like remove the one from the other, and it should work well, but there's a little bit of prep work we need to do before that. Let's make it a new... Using SolidWorks for like big assemblies, big projects is so much different to using it for smaller things. It is a whole other ballgame of like file management. Actually, let's make it for big base. And I can add a new component, which I want to be suppressed for the other ones. So now, ha ha ha. Cool. And I don't want this. Oops. For the big base. I do want this. See, like now, it doesn't come up. Why can't I make the... Oh, there we go. Now it does. Yeah, Urban Climb. You would have been the first person to recognize me. I've thought about this a bit, how that interaction is going to go. Yeah. It hasn't happened yet, so maybe next time I go. I don't really have a very good schedule going there, though, to be honest. I need to go more often, but it's kind of far away. It's like 40 minutes from where I live. I swear, like, the fortunate people are going to find out where I live now just based on that. Oh, that's so... Wait, Peters. Wait, what's a KS18XL? Oh, cool. I have thought about making something along these lines. So something, let me go big screen. Something that I've been, like a side project for this that I actually alluded to in the very, very first, this is origin stories of Jugglebot Adventure. I want to make a thing that I've been calling Ball Butler, where when I'm juggling at the park, if you ask any juggler at all, like what the biggest annoyance is, it is having to bend over and pick up things from the ground. It just kills you. It's so frustrating. So I want to make a thing that will like throw the balls back to me. And as I've been thinking about this more and more, I've been realizing that it actually might end up being kind of large and kind of heavy. So I've been contemplating the idea of putting wheels on it so that when I walk to the park, I can just walk and have it like follow me the way there. Would be pretty cool. Man, I can see why people have people to like monitor the chat for them. Even with such a small chat, it is hard to keep up with. How do you add? I don't know. I guess you just add. But I guess that doesn't work. Ooh, okay, so that part was the one that had the main mates to it. Let's fix that. Something, if people are just learning SolidWorks, something that I fully recommend doing is when you make a big assembly, or just any assembly really, your first part that you put in is going to be like completely floating in space, but will be fixed, which is not what you want, because it'll just be randomly in space and all of your planes will be in the wrong spots. So what I do is I make the part float and then mate like to the part. So this is like this part's front, top and right plane, and I mate those to like the assembly front, top, right plane. So it's actually like in the center. And that way the origin of the assembly is the origin of that part. It's so much nicer to deal with. Cool, anti-chamber. I will check out that file in a sec. I want to get this cavity working while I've got it fresh in my mind. So I want this to go to here. Okay, cool. That looks good. So now I should be able to go to the assembly. Is learning to... Oh, I understand that being an electric unicycle more now. I've never thought of those as being unicycles, even though they are cycles with a uni wheel. That makes a lot of sense. I feel like it's not quite the same, you know? It feels less legit of a unicycle to me. Maybe I'm just a purist. What? That's not the right one. Ah, it is. It's just in the floor. Okay. God, my mates are gonna get so messy after this. I'm gonna have to have like a full cleanup session after doing this. Wait, what if you just click the green arrow when inserting a part into assembly instead of placing it? No, I'm enjoying it, super observation. I'm gonna try this. New assembly. Add a part. Wait, the green tick? Oh! Is that literally it? Does it... It has. Yeah. Huh. Does that work if you're doing more parts? Like what happens if I add like 5 parts? Are they all... Oh, I only did 1. So I guess, alright. So maybe you can like add all the parts that you want, go boom, boom, boom. Oh, then I think, yeah. All right, so I guess you have to pin it, add all of the random ones, and then add the tick one, and that's fixed. That is cool, that will save time. Thank you for letting me know that. I spent quite, oh no, I don't want this. I spent quite a while trying to make a macro that would do that. And I couldn't get it to work, even with ChatGPT. It just would not work. It was like, so the macro would like select the first part and then find the 3 planes for that part and mate them to the 3 planes of the assembly. But it just didn't work. I don't want that to be a coincident. I want... Come on. I want this... Let me think. That's that plane. That wants to be symmetric. Here. Come on. It would be very cool to have like a proper unicycle that can follow you around and do what you're describing. I guess it would be fundamentally the same thing. You just gotta like put the chassis of the unicycle on top of that mono wheel thing. Sorry, I should call it a unicycle. On top of the unicycle thing. Bum. Come on. This takes its time, doesn't it? I guess it's doing a lot. Okay, so I want this to be... Off of this. Can the mono wheel people go 100 k's an hour? That seems... Surely you'd be like leaning so far forward to be able to stop with any sort of decent speed. That would look so funny. And I don't know, like maybe if the unicycle had like gearing in the pedals so that you didn't have to pedal to be moving, and if it was motorized, I feel like it would be the same. You can go probably even faster because like your butt's supported then, and that way when you stop, you're not just like relying on your legs, like shattering you. Hello, Jack. Got something cool to show you tonight. Oh, my block is too small. Shit. I can make this guy smaller. No, I'm gonna have to reprint the bellows, I think, because bellows go onto this on the outside, and those are that size. Unless this is elevated by hips, but I don't really want that to... I really want it to be too big. I want this to be as sleek as possible. Yeah, alright, I'll reprint the bellows. Which means I can make this a heck of a lot smaller. So this could be like 40. Tiny, look at that. Oh shit, I probably should have read that. Oh no, that's fine. Oh, now that looks kind of gross. This is a very cool song. It's still a bit small. I guess I can make the peg smaller as well. That doesn't really need to be that size. Oops. So this can be like... Let's go 19.7. Why are you unhappy? That looks like a very weird piece. Let's just see how it looks. It's going to be interesting seeing how the bellows perform when they're like tapered, because I really don't want to be reprinting these bits. These take like 6 hours each, and there's 6 of them, so that's like, I don't know, a lot. More than I want to do. Let's make this a bit smaller. Should be good. Ah, finally. Now, my favorite feature. Let's save first in case it crashes. I've gotten so used to have everything on the cloud and like in Google Drive and everything that I kind of just like got out of the habit of saving things regularly until I started doing SolidWorks more, and I very quickly learned to save often because it's fucking annoying when you lose stuff. I've actually already got a sponsor, Super Observation. It's very cool. I am very keen to show them off. They will be shown extensively in the next video, hopefully. And so the next video, actually, I'll give you a bit of a spoiler for it. In the last video, if you've looked at any of the comments, you'll see that there were lots and lots of suggestions of different cables and strings and everything else that I can use. And someone, can't remember their name right now, they had a fantastic suggestion to actually test all of these strings and see which of them is actually the best. Because even as it is right now, I have like 6 options here, and I've actually just recently bought like 10 more. And one of the things I'm going to be testing is strength. And so I've built this tensile testing rig, which is very strong. It can very comfortably lift me up, and it should be able to lift, it should be able to pull, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's like around 800 kilos should be the limit for like the mechanical side of things, which is very cool. The load gauge though is only rated to 200 kilos, so I'm not planning on exceeding that, but it should be very cool to see how all the strings break and everything. And looping back to the sponsor, their company is called Electric UI. They make user interfaces for things like Arduino and other microcontrollers and Raspberry Pi and that sort of stuff. And it basically means that you can operate your Arduino or microcontroller based project much more easily. And you can see the data super clearly. You can have buttons to like control the mechanism. So for this tensile tester, I'll have like a home button and like a run button, and we'll have like a nice graph. It's going to be beautiful. And it will be very nice to get some good sponsorship money. So that's definitely the next video, share it around. That's probably the first one that I actually really care about getting lots of views. If we hit 90k, I'll be a happy man. All right, let's add this cavity. Cavity of this part. It's always tricky. I know. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to print to the console this string of numbers and then hopefully decipher it before the next string of numbers has come in and screwed it up. And like the plotting thing on the Arduino app is just shit. Like it shows you like 50 samples at a time and you can't really change that as far as I'm aware. Yeah, Electric UI is much better. I never know how to scale things properly when I'm using the cavity. It never really works the way that I want it to, especially when the shape is very has like a weird aspect ratio. I think for this it should be okay. Let's give that a go. This looks a bit weird. Oh no. Yeah, right. How much of a gap is that? Yeah. 0.35. Probably go less than that. If you are using a space mouse and you didn't already know this, you can use the space mouse to scroll in your feature tree in SolidWorks. It's very handy. It's so nice. And I can't scroll in this field for some reason. Type like an animal. I've honestly wondered about this a bit. I actually got a sponsorship offer. I don't know if I should say who it's for, maybe I shouldn't. But I got a sponsorship offer from like a fairly big company, like an agency that like finds people for them. It wasn't directly from them. And they actually said that they don't like doing view-based like agreements because, well, they didn't actually say why, but I'm assuming it's because it's a little bit easier to game. But I would have thought that it would also be relatively easy to like undo the gaming, and like I would have to like send a proof that these views are from like the US and like in the age bracket that I want and like genuine accounts or something. I don't know, but they didn't seem too keen on it. Alright, that is looking a bit garish, but functional. Cool. Alright, so now for the one bolt. Actually, how long is this? Maybe I can do it. Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Alright. Now I can cut out my hole. 3.3 mil for an M3 bolt. What do you use when you cut holes with M3 bolts? 3.3 is my good. 3.3 is like a good fit. It should just slide through without catching. Augustine, I am making a new part that I'll show what it is in just a second. So making a quick release for the new legs. So big TLDR. I got a new base for Jogglebot. It arrived yesterday. I'm super keen. It's great. But I need to change the way that the legs attach, basically. The old way was a bit frustrating, but I want to make it so that they can just like slot into place, be held in with one bolt, for whom I just added the hole. See, look at that. What is going on there? And yeah, once this is done, the legs should be very easy to attach and detach. Should be very handy. Like, this is my problem with the cavity tool, is that you don't know when shit like this happens, and if you're not paying attention to it, it can get ya. That's fine for me, because I'm going to take out the hole anyway. Actually, we can probably make this bit a bit smaller, make that... I'm going to use a 40 mil bolt, I reckon. Let's make this like 42 so the bolt is hidden. Completely seamless. Alright, because the cavity tool did not put the hole in the correct spot. I think this is what I was referring to about the aspect ratio being weird. Oh shit, sorry. Thank you, Daniel. Jack, this is something that maybe I'll ask you about tonight. The old Jogglebot on its old base is kind of hard to move around as it is. And the new base, I'm like, oh yeah, it's not too bad. It slides around pretty easy. But my housemate made a good point yesterday, which is that it doesn't have anything on it right now. And that could be a large part of the reason why it's easy to move around. I think putting wheels on would be handy for moving it around, because it is difficult to move Jogglebot when it's all together. But I'm also worried that wheels will make it kind of too easy to move around. Like, I want it to be solid. I don't know. I'm keen to chat about it tonight. Yeah, so this is what I meant about the cavity tool, like when the aspect ratio is long. So I made this cavity in this block 2 or 1% larger than this piece based on the second piece's centroid, so like its center of geometry, basically. But because it's longer, everything gets like kind of disproportionately stretched out lengthways because it's as a percentage. So I'm pretty sure that's why that hole is in the wrong spot. So what I want to do is just sketch where that hole is instead, so that I make sure it's in the right spot. This guy. Oops. Come on, where's my actual block? There it is. Cool. And I massively prefer doing all of my part editing inside the part, because my computer does not like me editing the part inside the assembly. So I want to cut a hole in this. Come on. Also to hide and show, I'm using tab and shift tab. So handy. So handy. Cannot tell you how many times I've drawn this profile out. This is 6.7. This is 3.3. This is 2.9. Alright, see you, Jack. Have fun at work. Yeah, Captain Lima Bean. I remember very distinctly talking with some people about this project like a year or two ago, and I was like, I reckon Jugglebot in the future can be like this big. Like, it should be able to work that size. And I've gone in completely the opposite direction now. It's significantly larger than it used to be. But maybe this is all just part of the process, because it's got to get big and then can get small again. But I still think it can be pretty small. If you have a very strong mechanism, I think it could be small. I also really like jumping robots. I think those are very cool. And if you make one with my linear actuators, I would love to know. Always very interested in that stuff. And Rodrigo. Oh, hello Rodrigo. I'm glad you're alive. It is. It's working great. I am loving using my Jetson now, and now that the CAN bus is working properly, it's so good. I love it. I've made my little screen. I don't know if you remember, I was telling you when you were here, I've got a little screen that I put on this, like, I need like a third camera, I swear, or a second camera. But I've got like a microphone mount with a magnet on it, and right now my microphone is magneted to that mount, and I've got this screen here with also magnets in the back that I can magnet to that. So when I'm like working on the Jetson, I can put this screen on and just like have it wherever I want. It's so good. It's a little bit small, but it's pretty good. I love my magnets. I don't want the bolt to be sticking out. I guess it's gonna have to a little bit. I feel like the head sticking out is better than the butt sticking out. Always name your sketches so you know what things are. It is nice having small things. I can't say I have the same desire for you after I was working on a PhD for a little while. That's weird. Oh, okay. I was working on a PhD for a little while, and the things we were working on were very small. I was working on haptic feedback. Oops. And yeah, dealing with like I don't know if it really counts as microfluidics, but like fluids and like hydraulics on a small scale was challenging and tedious. So this is the other thing to be aware of when using the cavity tool, like it leaves stuff like this behind, but I don't want any of that, so let's cut it out. That looks beautiful. How is the quality of the stream, by the way? It looks a bit blurry in my preview. But I don't think my internet can handle much more, unfortunately. Look at that. Cool. So this hole, I don't know if you're paying attention, this hole is 2.9 millimeters diameter, which is like the exact same diameter as the bolt itself, which means that the bolt will be able to like bite into that plastic as it gets screwed in. So that should hold it very solidly. I really like that. Now I just need to make it a bit less shit looking. Yeah, so the bellows will attach. Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, the bellows will attach onto the outside of that. So this part will all be visible. And actually, maybe it'll be good to hide this as well. So we should. That was the mate. This guy. This is what? 2 millimeters off. Let's hope nothing breaks. And now we wait. You're in New York now. You've been busy. I hope Hawaii was good. I know, I've been trying long and hard for basically the thing that actually started this project was my interest in compliant mechanisms, and I have been trying so hard to get compliant mechanisms into this project. And I'm going to count these as compliant mechanisms. I think I found them on a website that had a list of compliant mechanisms, so I think it counts. And they're beautiful. I love them. I think that looks a lot nicer now. Now we just got to pretty it up a bit. See, look, with fillets, I clear that. It has this nice little option. It's like, oh, you can select all these. Here are some things you might want to fillet. But with chamfers, it doesn't do that. And I know you can you can fillet and then convert the fillet to a chamfer, but then it screws off the little, like the name and the icon. I don't really like that. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I like where this is going. A little hack, if you want to get your fillets to be the correct size, if you have a hole and you want the hole to be like concentric with your fillet, which you do because otherwise it looks like shit, if you find the distance between that hole, the center of the hole and the edge, that's the distance of 15. So if I make a 15 mil fillet, it should be fully concentric with the holes and look beautiful. Because if it's a little bit off, it looks really janky. It's like 10. It's like, not quite right. 15. Beautiful. I do like my fillets. Maybe one on the top as well. Maybe. Yeah, that looks sick. It's also a good idea to make these a bit rounded so they don't interfere with that fit. Do the whole thing, 0.6. Oh, what has gone on there? That's weird. What do I do as a day job? I'm trying to make this my day job. I'm getting there. but for actual money, I do like tutoring stuff. My job description is a bit weird. I am like technically the head demonstrator for a course at a university in Sydney. And this is like a role that I've had for a while. It's essentially my job description is like, it sounds a bit shit to say it this way, but it's basically just like admin for this course to make sure that like the exams run properly and that the students are all, I don't know, happy. And yeah, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this will be my last term doing that. And that next year I will hopefully be on just Jugglebot related income, which is a bit daunting, but you know, gotta make the plunge eventually. I have no idea what's going on with this. I'm just gonna cut that hole out at the end. What? That's why. Let's just make you super long. There you go. Yeah, I do like the teaching stuff, but it's a bit tricky being distanced from it. Like in the past, I would teach in person as well as doing the admin stuff, and that was cool because I get to like actually talk with the students. But now, because they're up in Sydney and I live in Melbourne now, I don't actually like really experience directly any of the work that I'm doing, and I don't know. Yeah, don't enjoy it as much as I used to. That looks pretty sick. So that should mate properly. Beautiful. And this base part will print easy, and this part should print fine. Where is Fitzroy? My geography is terrible. We've been in Melbourne for like 6 months, and I have spent probably like a total of maybe like 4 days outside of my local area. Oh yeah. Yeah, Fitzroy's not too far away. I mean, I'm happy to, like, I'm absolutely not going to turn away any work possibilities outright, especially right now. I don't really have the luxury to do that. So yeah, message me on Zulip, and I would love to hear what's going on. A Jugglebot related job. That's an interesting one. I've thought a lot about the marketability of Jugglebot and whether or not it's actually like even possible to turn this into a commercializable thing. And the TLDR is that I don't really think it is. I don't see any useful applications of Jugglebot as it actually is for anything other than art, which I think is a very potentially fruitful avenue for Jugglebot, but definitely not as like practical as other applications might be. Cool. I don't really like how this looks, but I guess it'll be covered up. I'm gonna fillet it anyway. I do love my fillets. That's nice. I love the preview that it gives you. Nope. Yeah, I'm in Ashwood now. Ashwood area. I say that weirdly because I used to live in... The previous suburb that we lived in was Ashfield in Sydney, which is also right next to a Burwood and a Clayton and a bunch of other ones. It's like Sydney has just like moved to Melbourne. All the suburbs are the same. We're not a very imaginative bunch, apparently. Except for Batman. I love that Batman exists. It's just some like random town in like South Australia or something where everything's named after this guy named Batman. Why doesn't that one work? Oh, I don't really know if that's much better. No, screw it. Leave it as it is. Although I will chamfer this so the magnet fits nicely. I think I played Dark Souls once. It's one where like you die and you go back to like the last place, but like the monsters are still dead, and you have to go along and like collect a whole bunch like the souls. Sort of like Hollow Knight a little bit, is it? I'm a bit of a Nintendo guy myself, to be honest. Fruit picking system. I have thought a bit about how amazing, how like kind of funny it would be to like, when I'm older, own like an acreage with like proper fruit plants growing on it, and just be able to like sit there drinking from my cup of coffee in the morning, seeing my robots like not like speedily plucking the fruit, but just like leisurely. They've got like a basket and they're just like leisurely putting the fruit in the basket, like a whole fleet of robots just doing that. I feel like it would be like the best parts of being a slave owner, but without any of the like ethical qualms related there. I like how this looks. All right. I reckon we can get that printing. Hopefully my printer doesn't make too much noise. Maybe it's worth doing that. Let's see how long it will take to print. Got my nice macro here, save as 3MF. So handy. So now I can just go to the folder. Leg, printing. That one. Nah, I don't think SolidWorks will let you do that. Anti-chamber. The like make part. So the making parts flexible is, in my experience, used for sub-assemblies. I don't even know if you can make specific parts flexible. No, it's not even an option. But for assemblies, you can make the sub-assembly flexible, which, as far as I'm aware, just means that it will let you move the assembly the way that it can move in its own context, but having it locked will mean that it can't, like nothing can move. But I don't think you can do that for parts. The only way that I've thought of to be able to make the bellows move properly is have the bellows be rotated about a spline, and the spline is defined off of the position of the legs. But that's just going to add even more computational requirements to my computer when I move this around, and it doesn't really bother me that much. I just hide them normally. Problem solved. Yeah, Captain. I'm a bit less of a fan of the chaos of the Wallace and Gromit life. I don't know if I like the sounds of being like projectile thrown out of my bed in the morning. Yeah, no, I'll print this later. That looks good. How about the other one? That is also in the same font. I would, yeah, if you can send me an example, I would love to see that. I did not know that was a possibility. 2 hours. Ooh. I am so keen for the day when I get a faster printer. My brother's got a Bamboo Labs one. I'm so jealous. It's so much faster. Alright, that looks good. I really want to check out now this thing that someone Anti-Chamber sent me before. Shell 2, very broken. Very nice. I can't. What? What? It's not often I have to use spacebar to return me to the... What have you done? This is the part that Anti-Chamber sent me. Okay, there we go. What is this? Get out of here, surfaces. I want you. Some sort of... Yeah, it's... What is a... I've never used a void cut. Yeah, this doesn't seem very... very nice. Surfaces tend to, in my experience, which is limited, they tend to make things a bit more messy. I actually have, yeah, Captain Lima Bean. I've been given a, well, I got a sponsorship offer from some random print company, but I don't know if I really want to introduce that sort of content to my channel. I feel like I don't personally watch like printer reviews and that sort of thing, so I feel like, I don't know. I haven't really, doesn't feel right to me yet, at least. If Bamboo came along, then maybe, but not some random one. Yeah. Alrighty, I reckon next step is to fix this Bellows. It's tricky because you can't like show it in the CAD as its like compressed state, unless, do you reckon you could walk me through the making parts flexible thing, Anti-Chamber? Did you send me? No, you didn't send anything. Because that would be cool to be able to see it like in action. Yeah, I did wonder about that. So in their email they were like, we are happy to send you a printer. I can't remember what they said. They didn't say anything specifics about what they wanted out of it, but I don't know. Maybe it was just the mood that I was in on the day. I was like, nah, no thanks. Yeah, so if I've got... It would be good. I would be interested in ones where I don't have to make a full dedicated video for like, this is the printer review. I don't want to do that. You can start a stream. Double stream! Can I like stream your stream? Can you even, actually I want to test something first before I muck around with this. Can you revolve around a curved line? This is something I've never tried before. Try making a box. Because I would think that surely this would like not work if the curve were extreme enough. Parallel view. No, it's gonna be a linear edge. Why happens if that one's just curved, like straight, but on an angle? Why are you on it? So I guess that would work in some contexts, but it doesn't do, you can't do both. I guess, yeah, that makes sense. It doesn't really. Alright, that's good to know. So I want this. Ah, oh, fuck, this is going to be annoying. Yeah, so when I made this part, I made it as just like a little bit. And then I made another little bit on the top. I think. What are you? Oh, that's just like filling in a gap. Yeah, and then I basically like patterned them. So I made like one and then cut it. So now there's like two bodies here. And then just patterned this guy up until I had the height that I wanted. And then mirrored it. But that's not going to work for having it tapered. Because I want it to go from a, well, like 70 millimeter diameter down to 40. I wonder if I could do a boss extrude, like a revolve of a cone, and then cut the teeth out, and then shell it. Maybe? Let's give it a go. Yes. Bellows V4. It'd be nice if there's like a zigzag thing, like there is on Illustrator. It's like zigzag a line. Actually, I don't want that to go there. I want this to be, is it 69? This to be 40. The height, I don't know, like 100 or something. Let's just try this for now. Maybe I should put the teeth into this. Oh, this is so tricky. So the whole thing. For the Bellows part, 70.6. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want to keep the same like number and type of teeth in here because I tried a whole bunch of different sizes and types, and it's interesting. I would have thought that having a 45-degree angle, or sorry, a 90-degree angle between all the teeth would mean that it would like compress nicely. But if that angle is too big, like the angle in here, then it like buckles when it compresses. Which I think would be totally fine for my purposes, but it looks gross. And then of course if the angle is too small, like this one, it works and it compresses fine, but it's got a very small range of motion. You can't really like compress it by very much compared to like this one, which compresses heaps and doesn't buckle. So trial and error, sticking with this type. But that's going to be hard doing it tapered. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. And let's screenshot this. Easy to reference. So I want, I don't know, I guess just YOLO it. Actually, if I do one, maybe I can linear pattern along that line. Well, I might have to do an extra one. These to be the same. Equal. I have no idea if this is going to work. Okay. So I want this angle to be 40 degrees. Let me check the other one again. Because that sketch that I screenshotted is not that same angle. Yeah, okay, 80 degrees. Oh, that's huge. Okay, and I want their total span to be 8 millimeters. Guess that looks alright. And now can I linear sketch along here? I don't want a direction 2. And I want these to be offset by 13.43 meters. I'll reverse the direction. Oh, but I don't want a linear pattern. Oh no, yes I do, yeah. What? I clicked the tick and it disappeared. Alright. I'll just do it manually. Nice antechamber. Alright, just give me a sec. Just want to get these fixed. This actually might work. Ugh. That doesn't look right. But maybe it would still work. I guess that would still work. And that would print nicely actually as well. So something I didn't mention before is these guys. So it might be a little bit hard to see, but they don't actually, like, these should be completely symmetric. Come on, focus. You can see that edge is not quite, like this edge along here is not quite symmetric. It's like a bit more tilted, like the up, like this edge is longer than this edge is. And I think that that's just a result of it printing and like cooling weirdly. So like the shorter edge is the one that was on the bottom, I think. And I think because when it was hot, it was like kind of sagging out, making that edge a little bit like flatter. So maybe this will be good, having such a weird shape here. Because I can print it this way and it will hopefully print a bit better. Alright, how do I join your stream while I'm in my stream? Do you mind if I put it up on my display? Six. Nice. All right. Can you send a link to it? Unless I can, I'm about to find you. Anti-chamber does not come up with you. Yeah, if you can send a link. Or maybe if it doesn't send on YouTube, if you send it to me on Zulip, I'll be able to open it from there. I'm keen to see how this works. But I don't really like this top surface. I recently learned about the delete face feature in SolidWorks, and oh my god. It is a life changer. If you've just got like a little thing that you don't like, just delete. And then SolidWorks just figures out how to like merge the faces properly. It's beautiful. But I don't actually think I'll need to use it right now. Which is good. It means things are neat. Let's get rid of that. Actually make it construction. How to like merge the faces properly. There we go. It's beautiful. Alright, you might have to mute me. We're in. It's good. For context, Anti-Chamber is showing me and us how to make a flexible part, because I have been doing this by, well, I haven't really. I've just had like.
So we're gonna get into an audio loop situation here. So you had to mute my stream on your channel, I think.
But then I won't be able to hear.
You might have already.
Oh, actually.
I just been.
Yes. Wow, there is so much lag. Can you hear me in like semi-real time? I guess not, yeah. How old is your SolidWorks? Why is everything green and yellow? Yeah. That's right. I think I'm only on like medium as well. And even then my internet is struggling. Fair enough regarding the colouring. I do like the green, the grey background. I'm a fan of that myself. I think I get what you're showing. I've done similar things before with having like parts defined inside assemblies, but I didn't know you can. I didn't know you could make it like automatically do the refresh. just as well, is the audio for Antichamber's live stream coming in through my live stream? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna cut off your Antichamber. I'm gonna cut off your live stream because I see what I think. I can see how like once that automatic relation is set up, the flexible path thing, you can just like add whatever you want on there. That's very cool. Thank you very much for showing me that. Because I actually, let me turn my music back on. Okay, should be back to how we were before. Sorry, I muted the sound coming through my headphones so that you guys didn't get like a double audio thing. But that was very useful. So the TLDR is that like you can do, so like I have on here, I've got these strings. If I change this string, actually this isn't such a good example, but I basically got strings so that like they will, I can show you a good one. Making things like update at the right time can be a little bit tedious, and I have done a similar thing to what Antichamber was just showing, but I didn't know you could make it automatically update. That is very cool, because what I've been doing before is like I would move this part and then like these springs need to line up properly, so I just have to like press Control B to make them update, and that's a bit tedious to do, but it looks like you can do that automatically, and I think that is very cool. I like that. I'm very glad that you showed me that. Although I don't know if it'll be useful to do, or I don't know if it would be possible to do here, because these bellows, like what I would really want is have them to actually deform while the thing is moving around, like to show like that sort of stretch on one end and the compression on the other end. And I think based on my 2 seconds of experimenting just a second ago, I don't know if the revolving around a weird line like that would be nice. Show the cube. Is that the second one? I think I downloaded it. How bad can a cube be? It just looks like a cube. What are you hiding in this cube? So intrigued. I mean, questionable creation of the cube. So every time I update the part, it cuts in half. Alright, so you define the thing based on the center of mass, and then every time you change the center of mass, it... Interesting. It's good to know that you can do that. I wonder if you could make the computer in SolidWorks, so you just like press Control Q to run like one iteration of the computer. That's interesting. Alright, so these end bits need to be some length that I cannot remember. Oh, I just closed it. What happens when you get... Surely there's not an end to SolidWorks, just like get unhappy when it's like 1 micron thick. Adam, no, I don't use a Prism Mini. Alright, I'm curious about this now. I use the i3 Mark III, whatever it's called. I'll show you. Oh, my computer's in the way. That one, you can see it. Bit of a weird angle. Surely it can't speed up the printing rate like that much, I would think. Alright, let's see what happens to the cube. It's better not crash my SolidWorks. Oh! But then it starts again. So what's the smallest one? That one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That one. Nice. 0 millimeters. But it's not. It's a solid body. So I know. If anyone has any... This plant is not loving life. He's a sad, sad plant. Why is my focus all screwed up? Come on. Yeah, I would appreciate advice on plant care. There we go. He was happy for so long, and now he's just getting all flop. I don't know. I'm thinking of fertilizing him. I don't know. The Lego behind me is a proper set. It is the Lego treehouse. It was a lot of fun to put together. The one in the pot behind the wall. No, that one's super happy. This guy's loving life. Look at that. He's a bit unhappy on this side because I forget to turn him around sometimes. Oh, no, yeah, no. We don't talk about that plant. He's an unhappy plant. He was 20 bucks. I thought I could bring him back to life. I could not. $9.86. I'm going to guess that that was 10 and was just truncated at some point. And it should be the same on the bottom. Okay. This looks so weird. But honestly, this worked a lot better than I thought it was going to. But it's strange, because there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's put both of these in an assembly. So I can pin this, add this one, tick that one. What? I'm so confused. Oh. Oh, it's way shorter. What the heck? Maybe I did the half height before. It's going to be 108. Ooh. That's looking a bit better. Ah! Screens. Thank you, Daniel. I've got to put that in like a better spot. It's like right behind where my microphone is, so I cannot see the macro pad, so I just forget that it's there. I don't know how people... I guess it's just a matter of getting used to everything. It would be sick to have an AI like watch what I'm doing and pick the right screen. Oh no, this doesn't line up nicely. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe there can just be a long taper at the end. Huh. Oh. How did I delete those? Oh, it's better. The bottom's a bit weird, but it's okay. Still shorter though. $28. Ah, 27. Okay. Yeah, alright. I guess that works. I don't like this though. Maybe I can spread these out a little bit, kind of even it out a bit. Surely that won't affect the buckling that much, he says, not knowing at all. Yeah. Surely 3 degrees won't affect things that much. That looks so weird. I love what you can print with TPU. It's so handy. Alright. Cut bolt holes. These holes are annoying as well. Without these, I would be able to make the whole thing print in vase mode. Which would be nice. Would have far fewer seams, but I need these holes. Maybe I could drill them? We danced until the stars came out and spread across the sky. The wee small hours of morning all went by, and day is here. And let's just revolve that. Cut. And across the floor we fly. When you are near, spring is in the air. I hold you so close, I think you must hear my heart tingle. But then I wouldn't get the holes in the right spot if I drilled them out, I think. Although I guess it doesn't really matter that much. Yeah? Maybe I'll try it once. This is so good. Look at that. I did that in 4 features compared to however many that is in the last one. That's so much nicer. I love deleting the old stuff. Except when it fucks up the equations. Like, surely SolidWorks can be like, oh, you've deleted the thing, let me delete the equation as well. Do it manually. Alright, yeah. Full B. I'll give that a go. I'll print the first one off without the holes and see if I can change them around. See if I can drill the holes myself. Oh, this part. Punch the holes. Interesting. I feel like I would need something like inside it to kind of support it though. I do have this, maybe this would work. My brother's got me this 3D print finishing tool a couple years ago, and I really like it. I have only ever used it I'm pretty sure, mostly, to insert threaded inserts. But it's so good because it means that my soldering iron doesn't get covered in plastic. And it's got like just the right bit for it, so you can insert them real easy. And it's got a bunch of different tips. So maybe I could use one of these for cutting the hole out. The bellow file. Yeah, sure. Do you want the new one or the old one? Send you both. Where's the... Why can I not drag this window? Oh. Leg. It's not the leg. All my confidence was gone. I'm bewitched, bewildered. Yeah, you get both. Lucky you. Yeah, this part, I have no idea why. This part just breaks sometimes. It's very confusing. Right at this chamfer, it's just like, oh, I can't find the edges. And then you tell it to repair, and it's like, oh, there they are. And then it works. But then the other things just break. I don't get it. And now it's broken again. It's like I'll just close everything and then open it again, and it will not be broken anymore. Let's try this. It's so frustrating. I've tried to simplify it as much as I can. But it just keeps... and now it's fixed. Whatever. And now everything's happy again. Alright, so we want this new bellows. Where am I located physically? In my room. I'm in Melbourne now. I used to live in Sydney, now in Melbourne, and I'm enjoying it. I like Melbourne a lot more than Sydney. Sydney's a bit of a shithole, to be honest. I like Melbourne a lot more. I don't... Oh, antechamber, you may... Yeah. Can't do anything for you there, sorry. So I am using the maker license. And... yeah, SolidWorks, I guess, has decided that to minimize people like using the maker license when they're actually an industrial, like commercial maker, they don't allow you to even open maker files on the full version of SolidWorks, which I'm a little bit scared about if I ever do need to move off of the maker license. Like, do I just lose all of my files? I don't know. The printing speed. That would be cool, Adam. I would very much like faster printing speeds. So this has ruined its mates. It has no mates. Free to roam. And let's line those holes up properly this time. I did the wrong diameter. It's 40, so I want it to be 42 because I've got a 1mm shell. Maybe a little bit bigger as well. Tolerance, you know? Cool. And let's see what it looks like all straight. Oh, yeah. Easier said than done, Flow Hunter, unfortunately. I agree in principle, but SolidWorks is pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. And I've like sort of used Inventor and Fusion before, but SolidWorks is pretty good. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I've just sort of like put this problem off in my mind because I figure like surely they have a system in place for if they're going to kick you off of the maker license because you're making too much money and they're going to force you to buy the actual license, they must have a way for you to copy your files over. Surely. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking. And yes, anti-tamper I can. Oops. I just want to see one thing first before I forget. See how well this fits. I did the same thing. Yeah, I need to make it 2 millimeters bigger. This one's a bit tricky. This one really has to be the right size because otherwise I won't, because it fits into that little slot. If it's too big, it won't fit. It looks pretty centered. With that. Cool. Nice. I really like that. Alright, I'll send you these files. Yeah, fool, I think you're right. Hopefully. Yeah, just kind of... I'm kind of curious though, like what counts... So, for those who aren't familiar, the maker license, it's something like if you earn more than like $2,500 a year using SolidWorks, you have to move up to the actual license. And as I've got a couple thoughts on this. One is that, how do they even know how much money you're making? Another is, what counts as making money with SolidWorks? Like, if I start making decent money with the YouTube stuff, does that count as using SolidWorks? Like, SolidWorks is not like the main, it's not the only thing that I'm doing. I don't know. And also the fact that like, it's like a $2,500 per year income, or like profit, to buy so that they make you buy the proper one. But the proper license is like $10,000. So they're asking you to spend like 4 years of money for one thing. It seems a bit rough in my mind. And we also need this as a step. All right. And then that one. Cool. What? Come on. Now we've got to fix all this mess up. This is the fun of editing the main assembly. Everything turns to shit pretty quickly. Alright. So I think all of the legs... Oh no. I didn't really think that through very thoroughly before. So this part, this guy, I haven't added that to... It's just like its own part. And I don't really like that. It should be part of either this assembly for the leg or the assembly for the base. I kind of think it should be in the leg. Yeah. Alright. Things are gonna get freaky for a second. Hopefully SolidWorks doesn't kill itself. But think about this carefully. So this, I think if I update this right now, this is going to break because this cutout is currently based on nothing. It's based on question mark. So I need to make sure that I don't use any of these features when I'm doing these mates. That one. Come on. Option. No, you don't. And how did I do the other one? There's a distance from this to somewhere. Just to this. Yeah, I think there's definitely like different CAD programs have different advantages. I think if you're doing like big things often, I think SolidWorks is pretty good. I can definitely see how you could very, very comfortably get by with other programs for like smaller scale things, or like if you're just doing it every now and then. But like, I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in SolidWorks, and I have zero regrets that I have chosen SolidWorks as my number one bay. This was 3, I think. Yes. You can't see it. They didn't send, I think. I think Zulip crashed. Hopefully that works. All right. So these are, what should I call this? Leg base attachment mates. And I only want this part to be present in this configuration. Optics machining design. What do you mean by that? Like telescope optics? Like visual optics, or like the way that the UI looks, that sort of thing. I saw a cool video on a cool CAD program that had like, it was very intuitive, very, very simple UI. It's super intuitive. You could just like really easily click and drag the edges to like fillet things and like boss extrudes. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head right now though. It looked very good for like absolute beginners for CAD. Yes, SolidWorks is spency for the proper license. The Maker one's pretty, I think it's pretty reasonable. I'm happy to pay, I paid it this morning actually, $163.90 per year, Australian. Optical test fixtures. Is this something that you work on for work? Is this happy or is this unhappy? What is going on? Yes, I understand. I might have to remake that cavity. Oh, but it goes to so much. Ugh. Sure. Ah, that makes more sense. Cool. Very cool. I find it very interesting. Just like finding out what sort of work people do that are interested in this project. What is? But it doesn't. I got rid of them all. No, I didn't. Things get very messy if you don't handle your assemblies properly. You really need to pay attention to it. There we go, that's better. That's cool. That is a cool experience to have. Designing proximity sensors. Now I need to add in the sketch for that hole. That was weird. A sketch. And you. Yeah, they're very useful hobbies to have though. I definitely have changed a lot about my living environment as a result of having a 3D printer. Yeah, it's so good. I don't think there's a single room in my house that doesn't have a 3D printed thing in it. I mean, this room, I don't think there's a single surface in this room that doesn't have a 3D printed thing on it. Where's my hole gone? Okay. So now, this should be in the leg assembly. Everything should be happy. Got the bellows there. Beautiful. Save it in case we crash. And now we can go to fix this mess up. If it will even open. Alright, whoa. I love just like playing around with the assemblies once they're together. And just like seeing what is possible. And like the revolves. Oh man, if you draw like a random sketch and then like revolve it around all the different lines that you've got, you get some very weird shapes. And like I feel like if you handed something, let's do this, I've got to show you. If you like handed someone an object being like what, or like several objects saying like like relates all these different objects to each other. You'd have no way, unless you were like some kind of geometric savant, you'd have no way to know. So you've got this random sketch. If we revolve it around this line, oh, there we go. I shouldn't have it overlapping like that. There you go. So we revolve it around this line, we get this shape. And then if we revolve it around this line, we get this shape. It's like a hat. Or we can do that line. It's sort of like the inversion. I guess I can only pick the outside ones. But it's very cool to like have a play around with. I feel like that'd be a good like IQ test to like give people like different shapes and be like, what is, like you have like 5 shapes and 3 of them are like the same silhouette, just revolved around different lines. That'd be very interesting to see if you can actually tell the difference. Do you mind sharing the motor controller setup? What do you mean by that, Eagle Burger? And full, what do you mean by what is Z? Z when? Yeah, the CAD program I'm using is SolidWorks. The motor controller setup, I'm using these O drives. I'm using O drives. And these are very good. So these do all sorts of complicated control for brushless DC motors. And they're fairly easy to get a handle on. It's not trivial. If you haven't done any brushless DC work before, which I hadn't before getting these, it's a little bit intimidating, and the documentations could be better, I think, but I don't know. It's figure outable. Yeah, I'm keen to see an anti-chamber. If you do make something like that, let me know. Post it to Zulip, and I would love to implement it in the model. It would be cool to be able to update the Bellows like shape in real time. It would be very nice. Sleep well. Alright, so we're gonna fix all these up. The sphere and magnet parts. Oh, this guy, yeah. I'll send that to you after the stream, I think. If you're gonna go to bed now anyway. So all these mates are broken because I deleted the parts. So let's edit them all. Yeah, if you've got any other questions, Eagle Burger, I'm more than happy to let you know. I've posted a bunch of the code that I'm using on Zulip. I don't think I've posted the full code, like my most recent code, just because I haven't had a reason to. But if you're interested and you want to see exactly what I'm doing, then yeah, post to Zulip and I'll happily share it on there. I can't really do it right now because I need to turn the other computer on. It's a little bit annoying, but what was that? Let's say that's that one. Now I think I am indeed Aussie. If anything's going to break SolidWorks, it's going to be this process of fixing the mates. Maybe I should actually suppress the platform while I do this. What? Save. Yeah. This is good. Now I can get them in their rough positions. Yeah, hardware definitely takes a lot longer than software, in my experience, which is limited, but yeah. Iterating on hardware, it just takes so long. But then iterating on software, it's like, oh, I got a bug. Let me just fix the bug and then rerun. Rather than like, oh, I need to print another 18 hours of stuff. Or like order something. If you have to order anything, have fun waiting for that. The max step frequency of the encoders. So these... Oh, nice. If you've been using brushless for 23 years, you should have no issues. Yeah, the O drives are really good. They're not that expensive. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think if you've got experience with it, you should be able to figure it out pretty quickly. But the max step frequency, they are 8,192 steps, or pulses per revolution. So like 2048 counts per revolution, or whichever way that goes, I can't remember. 2048 of the sets of 4, so 8,192 of like the individual steps. And the maximum step frequencies, it's very high. I remember I looked at the docs for the encoders and I was like, yep, not a problem. Don't even need to worry about it. They're called AM. I'll write it in the chat. The encoders are CUI AMT 102 encoders. What controller are you using? I would love... If I'm going to be... I would love to be familiar with... What kind of... Oh. Yeah, I'd love to be familiar with other ones. Because when I expand this out to be multiple Joggerbots, it's going to get expensive pretty quickly if I copy everything exactly the same way that I have it now. Slow. I feel like this is a good song for this process. Just calm down. Let SolidWorks do its thing. What ones haven't I done? See, airplane controllers. Yeah, I had a brief look at other... What are they called? ESCs? Electronic Servo Controller? I don't know what it stands for. And they look good, but they don't seem to have a tremendous amount of control over what they are doing. But the O drives can do a lot. Like you can do it in like torque control mode or like position or velocity, and yeah, you can do tons and tons of stuff with it. Yeah, the O drive handles all of the receiving. So like I'm not touching any of the encoder readings. The way that my understanding of the way that this works is I tell the O drive, I'm using position control, so I will tell the O drive, I want this motor to be in position 1.5, let's say like 1.5 revolutions from its 0 point. And then it will just go there. And it has like a startup sequence where it figures out where the motor is in relation to the encoder index pulse. And then as soon as it's done that, it will always just keep in track with the encoder. And I don't know what the maximum frequency of the O drive receiving that signal is. I suspect it's pretty fast. I've definitely not had any issues with it, but I'm not going like insanely fast. Yeah, 2000 RPM. Yeah, I don't know, that's pretty fast. It's definitely a lot faster than what I'm doing. All right, so these are all made it to the plane. Let's put them in roughly the right spots. I'm a little bit worried that they've all like shifted around It's like this one might have like been over here before. That might stuff up the platform mates. So we might have a very strange looking Jugglebot once I unsuppress the platform. Alright. Where is this hole over there? So slow. I think all my folders are going to be screwed up after this. Yeah, no, I could see how you would have issues running at super high speeds if a microcontroller was dealing with it. I previously was using stepper motors for running all of the legs, and it was really weird. I couldn't get faster than 15,000 steps per second. I think even if I had just one or if I had all 6 going, it would not be affected by that. And I was using a Teensy 4.1, I think. 4.0 or 4.1, which should have been able to go to like 200,000 steps per second, but I couldn't get faster than 15 without the motor being very unhappy. So yeah, you would definitely have issues running 2,000 revolutions. I guess revolutions per minute. What is that? Like 33 revolutions per second. That might be manageable. 33. So if I can get 15,000 steps per second divided by 33. So you could have 400, yeah, that's not that many, 450 counts or like steps per revolution, which isn't great. Depends how fine resolution you want, I guess. It would be nice if this like cleared the ones that I'd already done. My God, this is slow. Yeah, one thing that I'm very keen for in the hopefully nearish future, next 1 to 2 years, is to get a new computer so that I can not have to deal with any of this slowness again. I want it to be very, very speedy. Especially, I'm planning on doing a lot of like AI training of Jugglebot. This is something I'm very keen for. To have like an AI basically just have an AI have control over the 6 legs and then tell it keeping the ball in the air is your objective, and then like, yeah, learn how to juggle. But I would expect this would take a lot of compute power, and I don't think my computer would get anywhere close to solving this in any human life scale or like timeline. They are the same part full, but, and I think that's actually how I copied them over in the first place. But I can't just do like a symmetry thing of them because they aren't symmetric. Like when they move around, the symmetry will be broken. So I do have to mate them all. As far as I'm aware, I do have to mate them all to their correct spot. Come on. Oh. No. Yeah. I think this is the last one. Thanks for joining, Eagle Burger. Enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying, Fool? Like, I don't know. If there's another way to do this, I would love to know. But yeah, it can't just be a matter of like symmetrying the one leg, because it will be asymmetric once the platform moves around. So as far as I'm aware, I do have to put them all in their correct spot. But the good thing is I only need to do this once, and then once they're in the right spot, they'll stay. It's just that I changed a lot between the last revision, so I've had to update all the mates. Come on. Okay. Ah, one more. It is an adventurous AI project, and I haven't done anything with that so far right now. Oh, that's not true. I looked a little bit into the NVIDIA Omniverse, they call it, and the Isaac Sim and the Isaac Gym and all that stuff. And I think that's the path that I would take, because they've done a lot of work towards making their simulation software very good. But the project is not really at that point yet. But it's interesting though, like I've got like in my mind, like there's sort of like two paths for controlling Jugglebot. The one that I'm currently taking of doing it all manually and like hard coding all of everything that it needs to do, and then getting the AI to do it. And I'm very interested to see how well both of these options perform. Yes, that's fair enough. Sleep well. Thank you for joining. Oh, we're so close to getting the platform one as well. Let's unhide all of these for ultimate sexiness. Alright, now save before it crashes. Alright, fingers crossed. Nope. Interesting. I don't really know what I was expecting, but that wasn't it. Let's suppress all of these. I strongly recommend, when dealing with big assemblies, try to get everything into like approximately the right spot before doing the mates. Otherwise it gets messy. And also you can right click on the objects to rotate them instead of moving them. It's very handy. So I want to make sure that this is oriented the correct way. Let's just go off the planes. Yeah, that looks approximately right. So this one will go to there. Ooh. I've got a series of mates in my leg assembly that straightens the leg and lets me like check, like that's what I was using before to check the bellows. But of course, I don't want the leg to be straight in the main assembly, so I need to suppress it. And now this should be free to move around. Yeah. So this guy goes over here. So it goes here. Yeah, cool. Let's see if this works. It's a bit annoying, you can't like edit the mates easily while they're suppressed. I don't know if I'm going to want to swap these around. Ooh. Actually, that's okay. Come on. Down you go. This is a hard time. Oop. When you get to like the extremities of the mates. Kind of freaks out a bit. Like that. What is going on there? That's an undo. Let's see. So I also have some mates to align the platform. So let's see if those still work. Oh, no solution found. Let's do this one last. It's not parallel. Make them parallel. Come on, SolidWorks. You're better than this. That's better. It rotated. Maybe it was just rotated last time I did it. So I want these ones. What are my options? Oh, just front plane. Easy. Front plane, front plane. And it's frozen. Come on. There we go. Nice. Cool. That looks beautiful. So these guys will obviously not be transparent in reality, and they'll obviously also be bending a bit. I'm very interested to see how well these bend compared to the full cylinders. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, nice. Sweet. I really like that. I think that looks cool. I also need to make... So I've got like a... I haven't actually figured out how I'm going to mount the O-drives on here. Oop, that's the Jetson. Let's get rid of that. So I'm just planning on putting them like around here somewhere. And I've added all of these other holes because I want this base to be Jogglebot's base for quite some time. So I've got like these... All of these... Oh, it's kind of hard to see them when they're blue. There's like a rectangle of holes. And I figured that that should be enough space for the O-drives. And then I've just got this like pattern of 12 holes going radially out to just, I don't know, mount other stuff if I want to in the future. So I need to make like a crash-proof case for the O drives, but I think I might do that later. I'm pretty knackered right now, to be honest. I think that was an extremely successful CAD sesh. I've just got to print off all those bits. Yeah. That looks very good. Cool. Oh, whoops. Alrighty. I'm gonna call it here, I think, for the stream. This was extremely fun and entertaining, and first stream ever. I think it went very well. Thank you all for... Let me turn the music off while I do my outro. Yeah, thank you for joining. It's been very interesting running a stream. There's definitely a lot to monitor, a lot more than I would have thought, and even just setting it up is a whole ordeal of its own. And I apologize if I spammed anyone with notifications. Towards the beginning of the stream, I was confused about how to set things up, and to be honest, kind of still am. Maybe I should make another account just to like fiddle with that. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, thank you all for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully the next video won't be too far off. I've got my tensile testing rig with me. It's all ready to go. I just need to wait for some strings to arrive. It's honestly the only thing. I've got like 10 different types of strings and like cables and everything that people have recommended to test out. So once those arrive, put them to the test, and it shouldn't be too long before that video's out. Yeah, thank you for joining, and enjoy the rest of your day, wherever you are.